Welcome.
Welcome.
What are you doing?
Give me a welcome.
I've got
Welcome.
Southern comfort running through my veins. My mama was the wind, and my daddy was a train. I'm the second coming of the midnight rider. I'm a modern day old soul singer, son of a gun.
Welcome to my 2011 web video. I'm your host, Josh Neifel. For the next 15 weeks through the end of the year, I'm going to be bringing you a video every Friday uploaded on YouTube and Facebook to tell you facts about white-tailed deer and their movement in today's deer hunting world. With that being said, I'm going to show you a little further about what to expect on my web show each and every week. So stay tuned. First off, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what type of weather you can expect for the upcoming week. Week one, we're not going to have it because Joey, our weatherman, is out of town and can't get me a forecast for the upcoming week, but that's the game plan. We're going to predict the weather each and every week, tell you if there's cold fronts, highs, lows, stuff like that coming in to your area where you're going to be hunting and how it affects the deer movement. Now each week I'm also going to be giving you a field report, and what this means is I'm going to take my little handy cam and I'm going to go out into the field. I'm going to show you acorn trees, I'm going to show you crops, I'm going to show you our food plots. I'm going to show you a little bit of everything I can show you because I know for a fact you can't get out there like I can. I have time to go do it. But with this, I'm going to show you exactly what the deer are doing. Are they rubbing? Are they scraping? Are they just primarily hitting acorn trees and food sources? That's my game plan. That's what I'm going to report to you each week. Each week after the field report, going based off what we see out in the field, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what stand to hunt for the upcoming week. If it is early and we know the white oaks are dropping acorns, of course we're going to find that type tree to get downwind of a big acorn crop. But then I'm going to tell you exactly how to find that certain tree and what I do to help me. Each week I'm going to highlight a failure story. Just because one man makes a mistake don't mean I have to make that same mistake, and I don't want you to make that same mistake. So we're going to figure out exactly what he did wrong in order for us to be successful. We're also going to talk a little bit about a success story and exactly what they did in order to kill the deer and do everything right. With this being said, welcome to week one. Now it's week one, October the 1st through the 7th, and I'm actually headed to the mountains of Virginia to do a little bow hunting this weekend. The archery season opens up there on Saturday morning, and I'm going to plan on being in the stand bright and early. Bear archery season also opens up there, and I had a bear tear down my trail camera picture already this year, and so my game plan is to gig him as much as a good whitetail. But it is going to be freezing cold up there this weekend. They're calling for 33 degrees and possible snow showers. So I've got to be prepared to sit in a tree and probably get colder than I want to be, but I'm going to get cold. With that being said, one of the things I want to kind of point out to you and that I like to do is practice shooting with all my gear on. You know, you practice all summer with a bow, shooting in your t-shirt and shorts, but when a real life situation comes in and it's 35 degrees on top of a mountain and a big old buck walks out in front of you and you're head to toe in camouflage, big old thick layers on, you can't hardly move. One of the things I like to do is go out, throw that stuff on, shoot my bow a few times, make sure it don't hit my arm, make sure I'm comfortable with it. You know, doing that type of stuff will help you in the field when time matters. And you know, practice, but you need some real life practice as well. And that's the best way to do it. Is put all your gear on, put your safety vest on, put everything you can think of you're going to wear to the stand on, and shoot. That's the best way to practice for a real life situation. So that's the case. That's my game plan this weekend. Now what I wanted to point out here is the fact that the beans are still green and leafy. First frost hasn't hit us yet, and so the leaves are still green. The pod's full, but for the most part the deer is going to be eating the green part of the leaf for browse and overall nutrition at this time. Here I wanted to point out the fact that the acorns aren't completely ripe yet. Not the fact that they're falling, but they're still on the tree, most of them. And some of them are green, some of them are brown. It just kind of depends on which tree you're at, but where we're at here, they're just not ready yet. There's a few falling here and there. Where you find some falling, you're going to find a few deer tracks because they're pumped up about them as much as I am as far as hunting over them. So that is with the acorns. And then the corn, our corn crop here is basically ready. We're close. This is actually a silage cornfield here. It's not really planted for deer hunting, but that's what our corn's looking like right now. And when I was on a little scouting trip looking for my acorns, I'd run across this rub here, and I just felt like I wanted to show you this. And it was basically made because the deer was probably rubbing this velvet off. It wasn't really a dominant thing, but at the time, it's still a nice rub. I don't care where it's from. So. Success story this week comes from Brett from Lexington, North Carolina. Brett hunts a little bit of everywhere, he said, but basically him and his dad just got done leasing a piece of property. Never hunted it before, didn't really know much about it. They went in, hung some stands, put up some ground blinds and a few box stands, put out some feed patches and a little bit of corn, and went hunting. Basically the very first time Brett went into the stand that evening, he killed a very nice buck. It come out right before dark. It'd been the only deer he's seen up to that point. What I want to point out to you with this success story is sometimes the very first time you get to hunt a piece of property, whether it be the first of the year or just the first time period, could be your best chance of killing a big buck. Brett had no clue this deer was here, didn't know much about the farm period, but he knew what he needed to do to bring the deer in, and that was food. When it's early season, deer concentrating on food. And with that being said, between food and no hunting pressure, this big buck, nice 8-pointer, walked out in front of Brett and he made a good shot on it. So that's your success story of the week. Hunt early and hunt hard, and hopefully you'll have a chance and kill you a nice buck as well. Now, our failure story this week actually comes from Lexington, North Carolina as well. And in fact, it's Brett's buddy, Deke, who sent me this information. Deke actually missed a real nice 8-pointer this week with his bow. He sent me the trail cam picture. He's got the deer numerous times on trail camera, and I'll show it to you once we're done here. But, you know, I wanted to tell you some points of what we can do better to fix it. But Deke's failure was actually buck fever. And I'll just be honest with you, if you ever get buck fever, who cares? We hunt because it's exciting to us. If you don't get buck fever every now and then and you don't get excited about deer hunting, there's no reason for you to go. So if there's one failure you can ever continue to and actually enjoy, it's buck fever. Yeah, you don't get to bring home that trophy, but it's a great story and it keeps you going back to the woods each and every time. Take a look at Deke's buck here that he sent me. Maybe he'll get him next time. If he does, maybe next week we'll feature him on the success story. It's Friday morning, September 30th right now, and I'm finishing this thing up to get it to you for the weekend hunt and upcoming weekend. I want to talk to you a little bit about what's stand to get in this weekend and even on into the week. If the acorn trees are falling, find you a big white oak that you can tell deer have been around. Get off of it 100 yards, 150 yards downwind. I want you to get in between the bedding area and the food source, whether it is a white oak tree or a big bean field that's still looking good, or a cornfield that hadn't been cut, or just a food plot you planted. Let's get off of them a little bit and set our stands up there, and hopefully we'll catch a deer coming to before it gets dark, and then even coming off of them in the morning after it gets light. So try that this week. Tell me how your success goes, and we'll see you next week right here on my hunting video. All right, we headed to our next job site. We ain't hunting right now, but this is what we do during the day. We goof off a little bit and work some too every now and then. Jared here is a truck driver, and he don't have a load right now, so he's waiting on his next load. And in the meantime, we're gonna play and do a little hunting stuff. So sing for it again.